Hey guys, now most of you know me from a variety of areas. Maybe it's from Muscle and Fitness Magazine, where I was senior science editor for over a decade. Flex Magazine as well. Maybe it's from bodybuilding.com, my Shortcut to Size series, my Shortcut to Shred series. Maybe it's my Encyclopedia of Muscle and Strength, the training book that is a bestseller. Definitely one you want to check out if you haven't checked it out. But a lot of you know me as owner of Gym Supplement Science. Now, I may be the owner of Gym Supplement Science, a supplement company now, but prior, I've been an expert on supplements, a world-renowned expert on supplements for almost 2 decades now. And basically what everyone would do is, whether it's through the magazines, long before there was internet, people were writing in, believe it or not, and asking me questions about supplements. Along came the internet, and I've been doing numerous articles, videos, books on how to take supplements properly, particularly for muscle growth, muscle strength, and for performance. So there is, an education side to what I do, and really that's really what my emphasis is. It's really on education. I'm a firm believer in educating. The information that we have needs to be out there. That's why I left academia to get into working with Joe Weider in Muscle and Fitness, was to take what's happening in the lab and get it to everyone. Teach people how we can use the real science. Real science. That's how we get real results. So when it comes to supplementation, I've written literally thousands of articles on what to look for in a protein powder, how to take protein powders, what to look for in a pre-workout, creatine, you name it. In every form of media, I've educated on supplements, and people still come to me when they want to know about supplements. People can't always buy gym products. I understand. I'm working on getting gym worldwide. Working to get it in India. Working to get it in Dubai. It's now in the UK, most places in Europe. But I know a lot of you can't purchase it, or at least even if you can, it's not easy to get access to. So what do you do? What do you do? What would I advise if it's down to Pro Gym and you can't get Pro Gym? What do you want to do? What do you want to look for in a protein powder that would come close to Pro Gym? You might have to actually build your own, but this is really a checklist. What I want to do is give you guys a checklist of what to look for when you're shopping for your protein powder. Literally, the checklist number 1 is buy Pro Gym if you can, because that's going to cover all the other other checklists right there. Simply done by Pro Gym. After all, I'm the guy who educates you on the checklist of what you want to look for in a protein powder. I'm going to make damn well sure that that's what I put in my own protein, because that's the protein that I'm taking. So let's break down what you want to look for in a protein powder. Let's start with whey protein. Everyone knows whey protein. Everyone loves whey protein. Whey protein. Whey protein. Whey protein, it's a gold standard of protein powder, isn't it, nowadays? We know it's so anabolic due to its rapid digestion rate, its high content of branched chain amino acids, the particular peptides in whey protein that have other benefits, not even just muscle building, but health benefits as well. Whey protein, it's all about whey, right guys? That's what you want to take around workouts. Whey, whey, whey. Yes, but no. Yes and no. How can I say yes and no? Yes, you want some whey, but that's not what you want to be focusing on. Yeah, we used to think that, but guess what? Times change. Science advances. We know more. Every year we know more. Anyone who's telling you to just look for whey protein hasn't kept up with the science, have they? No. Because we know you need fast digesting protein, and you need a slow digesting at the minimum. But this is the checklist. Whey protein, slow digesting, casein protein. Okay, that's your minimum. Those are your 2 minimal requirements when you're shopping for a protein powder. Now let's get back to the whey protein, right? How much whey and what form of whey? Let's talk about the form first. Okay, whey protein. You want to be getting an isolate. If they're going to put whey protein in here, you want to get all the whey protein. You don't want all the other crap, okay? That's where we separate an isolate from a concentrate. Concentrate means there's more crap in your whey. That's really all it means. There's more of the crap you don't want. Isolate gets rid of the crap and leaves all the amino acids and the fractions that you want if it's the proper manufacturing process. If it's an ion exchange whey, guess what? Most of those fractions that are so critical have been damaged and lost, and you're not going to get the benefits. If it's microfiltered and ultra-filtered, that's what you want to look for. That's the type of whey protein isolate I use in ProGym. That's the one that's going to maintain all those important fractions and peptides that provide immune boosting function, health benefits, numerous other benefits, and yes, muscle growth as well. Microfiltration and ultrafiltration. That's what you want from your whey protein isolates. If it doesn't say it on the bottle, ask the company specifically what type of whey isolate they have. Now let's talk about the amount of whey in a blend. You know, we used to think, well, whey is so important, you probably want a lot of whey in just a little casein, right, in your whey protein blend? No. Actually, it's quite the opposite, guys. What the real world data shows in the gym with real athletes who train using real programs and actually follow real diets, not bullshit college students who are drinking beer and then thrown into a strength training program. What real data with real athletes who train like you and me finds you actually need more casein than the whey. And I've said this before, I'm going to say it again for those that still aren't getting it, okay? So you want less whey than casein, okay? You need, bottom line, it needs to be, at the very least, you need to have at least 50% casein, 50% whey. Ideally, you want it lower. We want less whey and a bit more casein because that casein protein is going to be that slow digesting protein, right? Okay, so your whey protein digests fast, leucine, branched chain amino acids get right to the muscle, spikes muscle protein synthesis. But if that's all you're taking, your muscle protein synthesis quickly dies. Remember, muscle protein synthesis is basically building up muscle. That's what it is. It's building muscle, one amino acid at a time. Okay, whey protein, you just take away, you get a huge spike in muscle protein synthesis and then a quick drop. It's too quick. That's the problem with whey. It's critical for that spike, but then it drops. That's why when we take a casein protein, a very slow digesting protein, it maintains that muscle protein synthesis longer. So you get a longer period of greater protein synthesis. That's why we need more casein protein. Okay? When it comes to the form of casein protein, that's also important. If it says ATE after casein, you don't want it. That's a casein. Casein is shit. Absolutely shit. And I'm sorry I'm using that language. I know I might get some flack, but literally it's shit. And I can't use any other word but shit because it's shit. It goes through such shitty processing, this acidic process, that it leaves a casein. Now, the reason that a casein is so slow digesting is the form that it's in. It forms what we call these sort of globules or micelles, if you really want to get technical. I'm not going to bore you again with the biochemistry here, but it's really about the form. When they make a casein, they put it through this process that involves acid that destroys that form, that makes it super slow digesting. So it ruins the casein, because that's the whole benefit of casein, is slow digesting casein. So that's what you want. You don't want to do any processes that's going to ruin it. You want micellar casein. Make sure it's micellar casein. It's the only casein I use in ProGym. Why? Because that's the natural, that micellar form is it maintains that natural form, so you get the slowest digesting protein. That's going to give you a big spike with the whey that I've got in there, and then a long maintaining it much longer with the slow digesting micellar casein. Now I've also got egg protein for a medium. Now that's a medium digesting protein. Not so critical. If you can't get ProGym, don't kill yourself to find an egg protein. Focus on getting the fast and the slow. The whey isolate, a real quality whey, and you can simply buy like a real quality whey, like a dimetized whey protein and a dimetized casein if you want, and make it yourself. I would put about 60% casein to 40% whey, somewhere in there. You know, just a little more casein at the very least if you just want to make it easy. 50-50 with a little more casein in there. I have egg protein. Why egg protein? Why egg protein? Well, it's a medium digested protein. So, like I said, you get a big fast spike with the whey, but then you've got the egg protein that picks up right after the whey, and then the the casein protein, casein is a milk protein as is whey, is maintaining that protein synthesis. But also egg protein provides other sulfur containing amino acids that also help with maintaining hormone production and other benefits as well. So egg protein is a very valuable protein, but like I said, mainly in there for the medium digesting compartment, so you're getting a fast, a medium, and a slow digesting protein. Now, I also have milk protein isolate in ProGym. We really don't even have to talk about milk protein isolate, but since I used it, people ask, why do you use milk protein isolate? That's not something you need to look for in a protein powder. I simply use it because it's a great form of whey in casein. Milk protein isolate goes through very minimal processing, so it maintains the natural form of the micellar casein, and it maintains all those fractions that you want from the whey and the peptides. It's a great way to get whey and casein, but what I wanted to do was it's 20% whey to 80% casein. You boost up the whey a bit with the whey protein isolate, and then you add some more micellar casein, and you've got a perfect protein powder along with the egg white protein. So really, these are the checklists. So let's review this. What do you want to look for? First thing, make sure you get a whey and a casein. Always. Every time you take a protein powder. I'm not just talking about around workouts. Stop thinking about just casein at night. I know. I told you guys to focus on casein, but getting a bit of whey in there, like from ProGym, is really your best bet, because then you still get that nice spike, and then you've got the long, elongated muscle protein synthesis through the night. It's going to help prevent use of amino acids from your muscle cells while you sleep. But just go with ProGym, or at least add some whey to your favorite casein. Same thing when you wake up in the morning. You still want some casein in there, or ProGym. Pre-workout, post-workout, between meals, always. Always, always. I literally made the perfect formula, the one that I want to take when I wake up, the one that I want to take between meals, the one I want to take before and after workouts, the one that I want to take after I train, because I know exactly what my muscles need to grow, to fuel, to be fueled, to keep gaining strength, performance. I'm not going to make anything less. But again, that checklist, whey, casein. You want to break the whey down again into further checklists, make sure it's a whey isolate. You want to break it down even further, make sure it's not an ion exchange whey, but it goes through microfiltration and ultrafiltration. Now let's talk about the casein. Casein. Scrap it if it says casein. Make sure it says micellar casein on that label. You want to go for a micellar casein. Now let's talk about the ratio. What do you want the breakdown to be? It should be no more than 50-50, okay? Definitely that's your cutoff. You do not want any more whey than 50% of your casein. You actually want more, so go with a 50-50, but get a bit more from the casein. And then if you want to add some egg protein or even soy protein powder, which would be another medium digesting protein that has other benefits that the dairy proteins don't, like enhanced recovery, might enhance growth hormone production. There's various benefits of soy protein, and no, it won't lower your testosterone, especially the minimal amounts that you're taking, so don't worry about that garbage that people are spewing. But that's your real checklist for protein. Or you just use this one, check, ProGym, you got it. If you have any more questions on protein powders, you know where to get me, guys. Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm there to answer your questions. Thanks, guys.